Okay, welcome to the sprouting, soaking, sprouting and activating and dehydrating part of the nuts program. So what we've got here is just this 1 kilo of almonds. I get through, between 1 to 3 kilos of almonds a month, either snacking or making milks, and that's us as a family. So I get them in bulk, and I'll probably dehydrate 1 to 3 kilos, and I'll add in some cashews and I'll create separate bowls for the separate nuts. So this is just dehydrating, soaking and dehydrating in bulk. So once you've added the water, you will leave it to soak for overnight, 8 hours, 12 hours. And what you'll notice, you'll start to see the little white tails pop out of these. So you think, something's actually growing, something's actually happening. Seeds are seeds, and they're hard out as casings is because they're there to protect themselves. So once you add water in nature, these things start to grow. So once they've soaked for up to about 8 hours or more, and that's the same for any of these size of nuts, so almonds, walnuts, and also pumpkin seeds. They're the main three that I soak in bulk and dehydrate. So once I come down in the morning, I've got the nuts that are ready to be rinsed. So you'll see that the water is quite murky and dirty, and it's like, wow, we actually put that in our bodies. But yeah, so it just feels a lot nicer, cleaner, and fresher for us to be eating. So I'll rinse them. So you'll see that I'll rinse them sort of 2 or 3 times, and just make sure the water is nice and clear once I've rinsed them a few times. Once they've drained off for a while, I will then place them onto dehydrator trays and place them in my dehydrator. Now, sometimes it might take up to 36, 48 hours. Now, the reason why I do this is because, yes, if you're making lots of nut milk, you can pre-soak the night before. That's a lot better to get fresh nut milk. And the problem with that, I always forgot to do it the night before. So I thought the easiest thing to do is just dehydrate in bulk. I can use them for snacking, I can use them for milks, and it's just a lot easier. If a recipe calls for pre-soaked nuts, you can use activated nuts. You don't have to pre-soak them and think, damn, I didn't do that. So you just place them on dehydrator trays, 1 thick. And that tray is ready to be taken through to the dehydrator. And I'll fill the whole thing up. And I've got a 10-stack dehydrator system there. What I learned when buying the dehydrator, and I'll probably remind you this in one of the later modules, is don't buy one with a timer. They're more expensive, and B, you can just leave it to go until you're ready, and you can keep on snacking on the nuts and tasting to see when they're really crunchy. And you'll get used to that. You can store pre-soaked almonds or nuts in the fridge, damp, so you don't have to dehydrate them. But the problem for me there is it's just another thing to do. So I just dehydrate in bulk, and then it's done. So we've now just got these out of the dehydrator, and here's some I prepared earlier, so to say. And what you'll find is that they're a lot crunchier than nuts you'd just get out of a bag. You can hear the crunch. I think they taste better. They just feel better, you're doing the right thing. So what I'll do is then, I've got a container that I just keep in my cupboard down here. So we get about a week's worth out of this. And then all the other trays that I've done, which there'll probably be maybe 4 or 5 or 6 trays, I'll just put them into bulk bags. And I'll actually write on the bulk bags, activated, the date that I activated them. So the unsprouted don't get mixed up with the sprouted nut bags in my store cupboards. And that's it. So the next lesson will be just going on to how to make nut milks out of any of the nuts that you like or you choose to use.